So welcome everyone to our second session of our 3-day event. We have now Making the Most of Dragon Professional in the Workplace from Darren from ORdigiNAL, and he'll explain more about himself and what he does in the future. I've got to say a big thank you to all of our speakers over the 2 days. We've already heard from Adrian. What an inspiring talk we've heard. So if you haven't heard that one, we will do the recording. We'll be ready in a few days' time. Hopefully we'll be out by next week. We've got Hayley speaking at 1 p.m. so really looking forward to that. And then of course we have our final session today with Jonathan Rouse from Olympus at 2:30. So going to have a really amazing day today. So thanks to all of our speakers that you can see there. Don't forget you can upgrade if you want to upgrade your CPD. All you need to do is scan that code. It's just a payment link, and that will then do it. It's £29 plus VAT to upgrade your certificates. Upgrade it. It is amazing you'll do it. We will also be offering that for everyone that wants to do it for the recordings. So if you want to watch all the recordings, you will still get the CPD certificate for watching the recordings at a certain time. So do that if you want to. Like I said, I've got to say a big thank you to our workplace sponsor, Dyslexia Box, all round pan-disability company that offers support in areas of the workplace. So do check them out on their website at dyslexiabox.com. Lead sponsor for the Dyslexia Show, Claro Software. We're going to hear from Claro tomorrow, from Mary, so really looking forward to that one. Thank you to all the sponsors of Dyslexia Show, so Nessie, Scanning Pens, Fairley House and David's College, Unique Ability Consulting, SEN Legal, and of course then the BDA, Study with Dyslexia, Send Books, Helen Arkell, Recite Me, English Type, London Grid for Learning, Special Direct, Touch That Read and Spell, Patos, and the SEND Group. Just going to check now if there's any comments or feedback in the questions box. So no one's put anything in there yet. So that's fine. Just have that up on the screen so I know where it is. So again, do send us a tweet, tweeters. Someone's just asked. Someone's asked, are all the sessions being recorded and catch up later? Yes, all the sessions are recorded. We're recording them all now, and we will then send them out to everyone probably in a week's time. Takes us about a week and a half, give or take, to build the page to send it out to everyone. That will be sent out to you all in the coming weeks. Like I said, if you want to join our LinkedIn group, I know we had about 6 or 7 people join our LinkedIn group. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn as well, by all means, please do so. Happy to have you on there. Very much appreciated if you want to. So look forward to hearing you all come on board with our workplace event. It's going to be an amazing event, an amazing option for you all to get involved on that workplace group in LinkedIn. So as I said, all of you are on listen-only mode. The webinar is being recorded. Put any questions or comments in the question box, and there will be a Q&A session afterwards. So I'm just going to unmute Darren 1 second. Darren, are you there?
I'm here, Aaron. How are you?
I'm all right, yes. So I'm just going to go back a slide just to answer that person. If you scan that QR code with your phone, that is the link to it there. If you scan that QR code for the LinkedIn group, what I'll do is on the next session, I'll put the actual link for it on this page as well. It's quite a long link, but I just thought it was easier. Scan the QR code and you can get onto the LinkedIn group. So let me now just share my screen back to change the presenters over to Darren. So if you want to click on show my screen for me, please, or share my screen. That's right. I can see your presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to hand over to Darren to introduce yourself and talk about Dragon for the workplace. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Aaron. I hope everyone out there is safe and well. Thanks for joining us today for this session. My name is Darren Maundrell. I work for ORdigiNAL. We're a European partner for Nuance, who are the market leaders for speech recognition. We work with Dyslexia Box in the UK, who are one of our sponsors, or one of the sponsors for this event. So I'm to do a session to demonstrate and just explain how people are using speech recognition, and just sort of show you what the latest versions of the product are, which in this case is Dragon Professional Anywhere. So I'm probably aware that some of you on this session are aware of Dragon. Perhaps you've already used it in the past, or you have people in your organization that are using it today. So the technology itself, just to give everyone a bit of a catch up, is over 50 years old now. Back in the 60s and 70s, they started to develop speech recognition systems that were just capable of recognizing individual words. That then developed into phone systems. And then as we kind of got into the 80s and 90s, that's when Nuance first started to create the Dragon range of products. So this is when, a long time ago, when personal computers were first made available. Windows came along in the 90s, and the Dragon product range started to come along. And Nuance themselves are, since then, have been the market leader in speech recognition, both through development of their own solutions and acquisition of other companies. So back in those days, the accuracy was really impressive at the time, but you certainly needed to have some patience and discipline with how you use the software. But as technology is improved and computers are faster and more memory is available, and the software has developed, the accuracy has also developed for the product. The product itself then started to be called Dragon Professional rather than Dragon Naturally Speaking, and everything has developed. But what we started to see, certainly the last 10 years, is a change in how people are buying software and a change in the technical environments that are common in organizations. So Dragon Professional has always been a solution that was designed to be installed on your local computer, which meant that you needed lots of memory and a good processor in order for Dragon to perform as well as it could. But what was becoming common was thin client environments. So Citrix and terminal services are still becoming more and more common, certainly in large organizations, as well as other applications starting to drain more memory from each computer with voice over IP telephone systems and print management solutions and all those sorts of things, all of which were having an effect on how Dragon worked. So most people now are very familiar with cloud-based solutions, and so that's what the latest version of Dragon Professional is. So it's a solution called Dragon Professional Anywhere. So this can still be used by one person on a computer, but it's also can be used for organizations who have thousands of users, because it uses a central speech engine rather than the speech engine being loaded on everyone's computer individually. So that's what I really want to focus on today, because there's now this cloud technology that's now available, rather than having to have a very fast local PC to run it on. And it also means that you can just keep going to multiple computers rather than having your computer in the office and not having access to it when you get home. So what can you use it for? What are people using it for on a daily basis? Really, the simplest way of thinking about it is that it's there to replace your keyboard. So wherever you can put your cursor, you can create text using Dragon. We can all speak a lot faster than we can type, certainly the way that I type. So obviously it goes without saying that as you can just speak the text and the sentences, the information that you want to put into your system or your Word document, then Dragon is going to turn it into text at a fast rate, certainly a lot faster than you can type. Also goes without saying there's no spelling errors either. So it just makes entering text a lot easier and simpler for the users. So most people are using it for their letters, to create reports, emails. If you have management systems where users are needed to enter large amounts of text or even small amounts of text into different areas, into different fields. And that's also supported in any browsers as well. So if you have a system that's also accessed through a browser, that's not a problem. You can just put the cursor in the field that you want, and just start dictating. That also allows users to be a lot more detailed with the descriptions that they're giving. So if someone needed to enter, a text of an overview of a conversation with a client or details of an assessment, if they are a very slow typer, then sometimes their notes can be quite brief. Whereas if they're using speech recognition, they then can just naturally speak into that field. I think typically the biggest markets for this to use as a productivity tool are those people that are creating the largest amounts of correspondence. So legal, government, healthcare, they are, and finance and banking, they're the kind of the core markets where people are creating lots of documentation. They are very heavy users of speech recognition. So the kind of basics of Dragon and speech recognition is that every user has their own voice profile. So Dragon will learn how you speak, your tone of voice, phrases that you use on a regular basis, and your pattern. And that also allows you to train words. So there's a very large English dictionary vocabulary built into Dragon, but obviously if you have a product name, you have an industry abbreviation that you'd actually just want to say the abbreviation, but have Dragon spell out the whole word in full. All of those things are possible. The microphone is also important. I think due to obviously the COVID crisis, most people now have a headset because of all the conference calls that people are doing. So we always recommend a good microphone device. So you can either have a headset, or I typically would be using a handheld microphone that's pictured in that screen there. So I know, as Aaron mentioned, Jonathan Rouse from Olympus is doing a session this afternoon, and he'll talk you through all of their range of microphones and portable devices that are aimed at speech recognition. Now, some of the other things that you'll hear me say when I demonstrate the product are the commands, auto texts, and templates. So we can create commands within Dragon to action different things in your computer. So we can open documents, we can reply to emails, you can just execute different things. Auto text is kind of self-explanatory. If there are sentences, blocks of information, paragraphs that you use on a regular basis, we can have those all set up and saved. Name it whatever you want to, whatever you feel comfortable remembering, and then each time you say that command, then that block of text will drop in. Templates are also heavily used with Dragon. So most companies may have some sort of forms and letter templates that you would use to send out to clients. Dragon is able to very, very easily interact with those documents to allow that user to enter the text in the right areas of the field. So you didn't come here, I'm sure, to listen to someone do a PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to show you now how Dragon Professional Anywhere works. Hopefully also I'll show you the other new solution, which is called Dragon Anywhere Mobile, which I'm sure, as you can guess, is the speech solution aimed at mobile devices, so iOS and Android. So for users who are out and about, who need to be able to collect information, create reports, appraisals and things on a tablet or a smartphone. So I'm going to try and show you that as well. So if I just quickly flick to a Word document, this icon here, this is Dragon. So this icon, you can just move to wherever you want it. You can also minimize it if you want it out the way, but for the purposes of this demo, I'll just leave it on display so you can see when the microphone is going on and off. And as I've said, you just put the cursor somewhere, turn on your microphone and start speaking. I am now dictating directly into a Word document using DPA Cloud, full stop, new paragraph. It's very easy and very fast to create text using this speech engine, full stop, new paragraph. Now, some of eagle-eyed of you may have noticed that in the first sentence there, I said DPA Cloud. So DPA is the shortening for Dragon Professional Anywhere. But rather than it say DPA Cloud, I have that trained so that when I say DPA Cloud, it actually spells out Dragon Professional Anywhere Cloud. So every time I use that, which in my daily life is a lot, it's going to put in the correct information. Now, as I said, we also have auto text. So that's just free text and I can just speak. What I can also do is to insert some blocks of text that I might use. Insert DPA benefits. So that's just entered in some text here that I would use, which is just giving some text about the benefits of using Dragon Professional Anywhere. What I can also do is insert some basic templates. So if I use another command here, insert basic template, and you can see here it's just dropped in a lot of text, but there are some field tabs here, and they allowed me to just jump around the document and enter in information. Darren Maundrell, next field, virtual workplace demonstration, next field. Once I've completed this section, I have finished the information that I need to collect and the document is complete, full stop. All right, so that's some basic examples here of how within just a basic document here, I can just enter free text, enter text that I use on a regular basis, and also put in some templated information so that I can collect data. Let me just do another command here. Open letter. So this is sort of give you an idea here. This is a pretend letter that I might have for a company. This example might be some introductory letter that goes out to new clients. So a lot of this is standard, but I might also want to amend some of the data. Next field. Mr. O'Brien. Next field. The opening of a new investment bank account. Next field. Now this section here within the fields, I have given two options here, associate or partner. This is just a useful tip to remind the user that in this field we want them to say one of those two things. Partner. Next field. Insert contact details. Next field. Darren Maundrell. So there you have it, just a quick, easy example of how I can take a templated letter that you may use, move around that document in a structured way, using SpeechRec to enter in the text that I want to do. Obviously, what I've said there is very brief, but obviously I could, instead of saying new investment bank account, that could be, several paragraphs of information. And that document is then done. That's ready to be saved, filed, printed, whatever you would normally do. Dragon doesn't change the way that you need to interact with that. So yeah, that document's all done. Obviously there's a lot of people now using speech recognition for email correspondence. So all I need to do is quickly just switch across to Outlook, and I'll just show you, a simple creating of a new email. New email, Darren Maundrell, subject field, DPA Cloud demonstration, tab, dear Darren, comma, new paragraph. Thank you very much for your time today, full stop. I hope you found it useful and I look forward to working with you in the future, full stop, new paragraph. As requested, comma, here is the information regarding DPA Cloud, colon, new paragraph, insert DPA benefits, new line. If you require any further information, comma, please don't hesitate to call me on 07432 123 456. So I can very easily just enter that text. I'm not having to speak in a different manner. I'm being nice and clear, but I'm not having to speak like a robot or slow write down. Dragon, you may notice as well that some of the text isn't appearing word by word as I speak, and that's because Dragon is listening to everything that I'm saying to get the right context, and so it can format that information in the right way. So you might notice that that last thing I said was my mobile phone number, which is not really my mobile phone number, but it identified that that sequence of numbers will be a phone number, so it's formatted it in the right way. Once I've finished this, send email, and that will send it off. It is worth noting that if you are using speech recognition, it doesn't mean that you have to use a speech command to do everything. Not at all. You know, I can still just go and do a new email and click through, type in certain people's names that I might want to. But then when I get to the area where I want to start speaking in sort of free text, then that's when I turn Dragon on. So you have the option. You can use commands to execute different commands within your systems and your Office applications, but it doesn't mean you have to do everything. Right, now this is the only scary part of this demo is to now try and switch across to the Dragon Anywhere mobile. So I have an app which is hopefully going to share with you my mobile device, which typically is now not going to work, but let me just try and get this working. Might be easier if I just turn it off and turn it back on again. Let me try again. Oh no, oh, this is typical. It's worked perfectly in all the testing.
I remember last time, Darren, I think you had to press the, you know, when you opened it, press the air button. So when you ran it again. Yeah,
for some reason, what I should better do on my mobile phone is select it.
If you press that now,
as
is it now?
No, but no, I don't have the. This is disappointing.
Do you want to press on? Press the media server on. You're at the top there. See where it says off. I think that was on.
Okay, hang on. Yeah, though on my mobile, when I do screen mirroring, it should give me this option. For some reason, it's let me down. Let me just try one more thing here.
I can tell everyone when I saw it yesterday, it was very amazing.
Yeah, so I have there's an app on my phone which is basically, it uses the same speech engine. So because this solution is actually sitting in the cloud, so what I've shown you today is the cloud-based version. So the speech engine is not on my computer, it's in a secured data center in the UK. So even though we're on a remote session, that's had no effect at all, and I'm streaming the audio to the speech engine in the cloud and it's coming straight back. So the performance, even though it's not on my computer, is a lot faster. Come on, phone, don't let me down. You can do this. No, it's really not. It's not going to play. Okay, well, that's a shame that I wasn't able to show you that. Yeah, my camera's not on either, so I can't hold it up. But I'll just briefly explain that then. As I say, that it's using exactly the same engine. So the benefit that gives you for those users that have both, if you have a Dragon Anywhere mobile subscription and you also have Dragon Professional Anywhere, all those words and auto texts, phrases and abbreviations that you use when you're sat at your desk with your computer, you have all of that information available to you on your mobile device, which is what makes it a professional tool. So I'm sure everyone's aware of Siri that they've got on the iOS, but it's really useful for sending text messages, but it isn't a professional tool for people that need to create documentation accurately and as effectively while you're away from your computer. So there's no time limit. You can just dictate. You're not going to get cut off after 30 seconds. And as I said, you can say that same command that I showed you, where you can, insert a template and then navigate next field, next field, next field, enter your text. And then once you've done that, you can then just send that back to somebody in the office as a Word document. So let me just try one more time. Come on. So looking forward to showing everyone this, because this is really cool. But no, I'm afraid this app, which the app has nothing to do with Dragon. Let me just make that clear. This is just some third-party app I'm trying to use to share my screen. But no, that's not working. I'll have to give up on that one. That's a shame. Before we sort of get into the questions, I'll just we can make free pilots available. So if anyone is interested, you want to start looking at using speech recognition in your organization, perhaps you already have Dragon, but you are moving to a thin client environment, Citrix or terminal services, or you have some numbers and you want to start giving it to everyone across the offices, then Dragon Professional Anywhere is the most scalable, best performing solution that Nuance have available. So we can make tests available. The software itself is available either as a cloud subscription, so you pay a fee each year and you have access to that. That means there's no software for you to maintain, no servers to keep updating, or it's available as an on-premise license. That's for sort of 20 licenses, 20 users upwards. So we're seeing, we have some projects ongoing now which are for hundreds and thousands of users in organizations who are starting to use DPA. Those large quantities of people are tending to take the on-premise license. Even this cloud subscription saw a big surge in this, with everyone having to work from home. Maybe they haven't got access to the computer that they would have used on a daily basis, and everyone really now getting the benefits of using a cloud solution. That to say there's no software to maintain, no hardware to keep having to update. All of that is included. So I mentioned at the start this Dyslexia box, who are our partner, who asked me to speak at this event. So if anyone's interested and wants more information, wants a further demonstration and pricing, then they should contact Andy Heath at Dyslexia Box. Those details are there below. It's andy@dyslexiabox.co.uk. So that's really the demonstration. I didn't want to make it massively complicated, because it isn't. The best way of using Dragon and to get the benefits from it are just that and certainly this new solution is that you can just use Dragon to create text in all of your current systems, and just make speed, creating those letters, reports, replying to emails just a lot easier and faster. So Aaron, I'll pass back to you. I don't know if there's any questions there.
There's quite a few questions, comments. So the first question is does this version work on both on Windows and Mac, or are there separate software for different operating systems?
Okay, that's a good question. Thank you for that. There currently isn't a Mac version. Over the years, Nuance have made Mac versions, but there seems to be Mr. Apple doesn't like they have their own solution. So at the moment, there's only a PC version for all Dragon products. There's no Mac versions available.
But it does work across iPhone and Android. Is that right?
Exactly right. Yeah. So the mobile app, which is Dragon Anywhere Mobile, that will work on iOS and Android devices.
Yeah, that's fine. Does it need training on every terminal for the cloud device, or as you need to do in the past?
Yeah, that's another good question, and something I forgot to talk about, which I should have done. This new version doesn't require any user training of the profile. So in terms of training, we always recommend you get training to be shown how to make the corrections and how to interact with the software. But as that person said, in the past, if you'd have tried it, it took you maybe 15, 30 minutes to get up and running. You had to dictate lots of paragraphs. I am now dictating in a natural way, and I will use this tone and speech when I start dictating. I know that all those phrases off by heart. I've had to do it so many times over the years. None of that is needed anymore. The engine is so accurate that from the very start, you can just talk into it and it will get virtually everything correct. What I did mention was if you have unique spellings of names, product names, abbreviations that you want to use, they're really the only thing that you need to train. But apart from that, no, you just start using it. So, and that's also why we've made pilots available. They've been incredibly successful because in the past, you know, I've been involved in speech recognition for about 15 years now. If you gave someone a trial of Dragon 15 years ago, then, you know, it was a very low number of people that may have then gone forward with it, because they have an expectation that you open the software and it's going to get it all perfect. And 10, 15 years ago, it didn't do that. You had to have some patience. But now the solution, that's the level that we're at. That's how it works. So that's a very long way of explaining that question, but no,
I think
the answer is that no, there's no training to be done. Just start using it.
Yeah, the one thing that actually reminds me that I think that actually I kind of was looking a different way when you had your slide up with everything on, with all the dates on. I remember IBM Speech, which I had over 20 years ago, and that was the training was 5 words 6 times, and that was quite that made me smile. It did. So because I know it didn't work, and it definitely didn't work in a classroom. Can the input from a microphone or a dictaphone, such as an Olympus range, would that go? You could still do the transcriptions from them as well. I take it. I think actually that. So I'm just reading what the person said again. I've reread it. So yeah, there will be some demos from Olympus today, and I'm assured that Jonathan will actually add that in. But I think you can do transcriptions as well, as you would have done in the older version.
Yeah. So are they? I think probably. What's that person's name? I feel rude not knowing their name. Is there a name?
I don't read the names because it's being recorded.
Probably actually no, GDPR. We're probably not allowed to say their name, are we? So
no.
Yeah, that's not.
I don't read people's names. I can say it's a gentleman. That's the thing. That's the question. So that was the thing. But that was
yeah, there are two elements to speech recognition in basic forms. What I've shown you today is what we class as front-end speech recognition. And that is where nearly all of the benefit of using speech recognition is, where you use your speech and text appears in front of you. There's another version of speech recognition that we refer to as back-end recognition. So that's where you would create a dictation. This is quite heavily used mainly in legal more than anywhere else. You create the sound file as a dictation, as you might do traditionally, and then it's passed to Dragon. Dragon turns that into text and then presents it back to someone who then needs to proofread it and make any corrections and editing. That tends to be not as accurate as that. That's why I didn't show it to you today. DPA, this Dragon Pro Anywhere, is just a front-end engine. It doesn't do the back-end option.
Okay.
Because this really is a productivity tool, and back-end doesn't really fit into that. So, but as a device, any real good quality microphone, if it's a headset, if it's in a Philips device, Olympus device, Grundig device, that you may already have with a digital dictation system, yeah, you can use all of those with speech recognition.
So this is a comment and a question, and just wants to know. So I've been trying to use Dragon when using in Google Mail. It didn't work. In fact, it only worked on Word. Are there any known faults, or are there anything that she could do to make it work a bit better?
Yeah, so what we see with using Dragon in things like Google Mail, web-based things is, without getting too technical, there are different types of text formats, and you would think they would all be quite standard, but they're not. There are hundreds of different types of text formats, but each browser uses different standards, and each web page may display a certain different type. So maybe as my sort of wannabe technical person's prediction or suggestion even is perhaps they should just try use a different browser. So whether that's Edge, Firefox, Chrome, try a different browser to see if that works differently. Also, some of the browsers need an add-in. So there are Dragon add-ins for, say, Chrome, for example. There's a Dragon Professional add-in to it, and that will mean that would enable Dragon to be used within the browser.
And that would also work on Chrome on Edge Chromium as well, because it's a Chrome plugin.
I don't have the answer to the.
No,
that's the new version.
Yeah, the new version of Chrome the new version of Edge will pull in Chrome extensions and plugins. So
yeah, I saw that available yesterday, and I thought I better not download that ahead of my demo, just in case that messes up the GoToMeeting or something. I haven't tested that yet.
No, I would test it. I would say to you, I've been using Edge Chromium for a long time. I've been using the developers version, and I would definitely say I've played around with it, and I have a number of Chrome extensions that I use in Chromium. So logically,
Chrome is the most supported browser for Dragon, without doubt.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one. Can you still use Dragon Professional in administration roles if the office is quite noisy? Can you combine this with without disturbing your colleagues?
So this is where the microphone device that you're using will make a big difference. If you've got a really low cost, let's put it that way, headset, then they're probably not designed to reduce background noise. That's where we tend to recommend, certainly in a noisy environment, we'd recommend the use of a good microphone, or a good headset, or the handheld microphone devices. So that's if I just skim back here, that device there. This is designed for speech recognition. This microphone will only capture speech that's going into the microphone, not what's happening around and behind it. And it's also only designed to capture human voice, which might sound a bit weird, but human voice is only capable of speaking in a certain spectrum of sound. So other noises that are happening in the background, which are higher or lower than that frequency, are not captured at all. Most of that was designed for speech recognition and dictation. And you don't, so there's no need for you to sit there if it's a noisy environment and have to shout in order for Dragon to understand it. You just need to talk into the microphone in a normal conversational manner, and Dragon will pick that up. It's used, there's a medical version of Dragon which is used in all departments around hospitals, including the A&E department, which are very busy, noisy environments, and Dragon has no problem at all.
No, that's brilliant.
Okay.
So this is a question. So I'm using Dragon 14. Would you recommend me moving to 15 if I don't need to use it with a mobile?
I would. Dragon version 14 isn't Windows 10 compliant, because Windows version 14 was probably discontinued 3-4 years ago. So there's been no further updates. So all the improvements that have been made and further software updates that work within all the updates that come out from Microsoft in Office 365 and Word and Outlook browsers, none of those updates are being put into version 14. So also the speech engine is better in version 15 than it was in version 14. So you will see an improvement if you move to the latest version. So maybe I'll confuse that person, because Dragon Professional Anywhere isn't a mobile solution. It's the Dragon Anywhere Mobile is the mobile solution. So Dragon Professional Anywhere is the latest generation for people to use on their laptops, on their PCs. So you could go from version 14 to DPA Cloud.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Excuse me there. So I'm just trying to read this. I'm supporting dyslexic students in HE. Many of them use Dragon and find it very, very, very beneficial, especially Dragon Gold, which I'm not sure what that is. So
that's probably Read and Write Gold, is it?
Yeah, I would say that's a bit different, but I would agree it is I've seen it work very well. So I heard a lot about talk about on the talk at work. It is not great with Citrix. So that's the one that's it's not great with Citrix, and they put a question mark.
Yes. So the other versions of Dragon, there are some other versions of the professional range, which is professional individual, which is individual versions, single license codes. That's what the assistive technology DSA versions use, because they're going out to students or individuals within organizations. Then there's another product called Dragon Professional Group, which was always the larger enterprise sort of version of Dragon, because you have a volume license and maintenance and support contracts available to you. But that solution never properly supported any of the thin client environments, and so there was workarounds to it if you had a small number, but Nuance never designed Dragon Pro Group to work in a thin client environment. This is where Dragon Professional Anywhere has been designed from the very first day. Nuance identified they needed solutions that would work in thin client environments, or also just make easier to manage if you're a large organization and you've got 2,000 licenses in use. So if that person there has got Citrix, then they are likely to have some sort of performance issue with Dragon Pro Group. Dragon Pro Individual doesn't work at all in those environments, but Dragon Professional Anywhere is perfect for that. So they can either have a subscription, a yearly subscription if it's a small number of users. If they have a larger number of users, and or they also have the security requirement that everything has to be in-house, they're not allowed to have things externally hosted. So we have a number of projects ongoing with government institutions. That's as much as I can say. And their policy is to have everything internally hosted. So yeah, they're running all the software on their own servers, but across their Citrix or Terminal Services site.
No, that's brilliant. That is. So I have had a lot. I've got about 4 people asking for the price and roughly how much it costs.
Okay. So if you contact Andy at Dyslexia Box, he'll be able to tell you, confirm the exact buy price. That the retail prices for Dragon Professional Anywhere yearly subscription is $599 plus VAT. The on-premise licenses, where you would buy a perpetual license, but you would have it installed on your own premises, there are discount bands in place for from sort of 20 to up to 10,000. The discount bands extend to, and then they're the sort of £8,000-9,000 per user. But that is because that's a perpetual license. That isn't a charge each year.
No, that's good. So
if you speak to
Andy, yeah, that's fine. Do you want to just bring Andy's details back up so everyone can see that on your slides?
Yeah. Where is he? Here he is. Yeah. So Andy Heath.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's good. Because the question actually comes back from that is that will Access to Work fund the DPA license? And I don't know the answer to that question. Do you know if they would Access to Work fund that? It's an annual license. So theoretically, you'd have to buy it for the 3 years of Access to Work.
Yeah. The honest answer is I don't yet know that answer, but talks are ongoing.
Yeah.
With obviously DPA isn't a brand new solution. It's been out for a couple of years now, so it's a well established, tried and tested rock solid solution. But predominantly the main focus when it was launched was to offer a better technical solution to the legal, government, and sort of banking and finance markets. But it's proven to be so accurate and so useful that that we're aware that we do need to create DSA versions and make those available through the normal channels. So whether that goes through Claro or I don't know, but that's something that we're trying to do for you.
Yeah, it's being worked on. That's always good.
Exactly right. Yeah,
that's perfectly clear. Excellent. This is a real
definitely
presentation. Sorry. Yeah. So this person says it. Really excellent presentation.
Thank you.
So about the and we can contact Andy about the pilot, can't we? If we wanted to.
Yes. So yes, if you contact Andy, he'll be able to give you the details, and we can do that very quickly. It's we use the login for Dragon Pro Anywhere would be your email address. So if you just provide Andy with details of your requirement, he can pass them on to us. We'll set that all up for you, and you can have a limited time trial just to see how it works in your environment, in the applications that you want to use it in, before you have to commit to buying it.
Yeah. So I'm just excuse me there. So I'm reading the question out so I can actually work out the answer. So please can I have, yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. That's contact Andy for that. Would you be able to share your like a PDF copy of your slides to Andy so he could send it out to people if they contacted him? Just because some people have asked for it. Yeah. So
that's no problem.
Yeah, you've already answered this question. There's no other software for Mac coming, only the version that's out now. So
no.
And you've already answered that DPA Cloud doesn't work with Mac. Do you think it could work with Mac down the lines? That's what this question is, or we just don't know.
It's definitely something that we want to have. One of the ways around it might be if we can get this browser based, so rather than using it through an application, it goes through a browser. That might make it a bit more flexible with working on different devices. I know there are people who have Parallels, the Windows emulation software. They have that running on their Mac, and they've successfully run Dragon Professional on that. I can't officially say one way or another that is a perfect solution, but certainly people have set that up if you're running Parallels.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. So I'll come back to that question in a second. So thank you. So this is the person that asked about Citrix. They said it sounds like I need to have a conversation with my my IT person of needing it upgraded. So this person says working in schools and for the NHS. This will be a good. This will be good to be the same across the board. That's really good. So this is a good question. Who is eligible to use Dragon device on a student with dyslexia? Dyslexia special educators, parents, EdGen teachers. Thank you for your time. So I think it's a bit an interesting question there. Who is eligible to use Dragon? Use Dragon on the device? The student with dyslexia, the special educator, parent. Gen Ed teacher.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question, because there is an educational version of Dragon Professional Group that's available. Now the standard way that Dragon has always been licensed is every user has to have a license. However, for educational versions, and if it is the educational version of Dragon Professional Group that the school or college have purchased, the licensing for that is done per installation. So that was to help schools who might have 500 students but 20 PCs. So in that way, the school, college, university, they just need to purchase 20 licenses of Dragon Pro Group educational, and it doesn't matter how many people actually access it. It's only controlled by the number of installations. So I guess the answer to the question is if it doesn't really matter if it's the student or the assistant. It just matters where the software is installed. Is if they've got Dragon Pro Group educational license.
Okay.
I hope I haven't complicated things.
I think that answers the question. Does I think that's right. It does.
Yeah.
So I'm just having a look here. The question, it says question. Is there, and this is probably a question that is interesting. Is there any other dictation software that the Mac only option? I know Dragon Dictate 4.1 for Mac, and Dragon Professional Individual for Mac 6.7, but I think that's because they've all been discontinued now. Is that right?
They were all discontinued, yes. So I think I have got an iMac at home, but I haven't got a very, very new one. As far as I'm aware, Apple created their own speech engine. It's nowhere near as good as Dragon Professional. But Apple built in some deliberate conflicts with Dragon Professional so that it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That's the unofficial line, by the way. So there isn't. There may be again one day. Certainly, I've been involved in this for a long time now, and to be honest, the Apple versions, the Mac versions of Dragon always used a totally different engine and worked in a very different way to the Windows versions. And they were never at the same level as the Windows versions anyway, even before they were discontinued. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, all those Mac users. I mean, I'm a Mac user myself, so I'm sorry that there's no Dragon Professional version for Mac. But
no, I agree.
Maybe
I think it's definitely interesting. I think that if you are needing from an open point of view of dictation software for a person that needs dictation software, for me, I think that double tapping your function key on your Mac will enable dictation that is built into Mac OS, and I would say it's very good for small things. If you want to dictate a whole email or if you want to dictate a line within an email or a spelling within an email, it's very good for that. For dictating everything, not the best in the world, but I think still very good at certain things. For me, I think there is a having a look around. There is a few other companies that do it. QSpeak, I think, is one of them. I think it's very fascinating to me because if I remember like 10 years ago or 15 years ago when Siri was announced, Siri was actually using the Nuance engine, if I remember correctly. If you read the terms and conditions of Siri, it was using a Nuance engine many years ago, which was hilarious in one sense. But no, it's good. IT companies have their own way of doing things, and that's what we have to deal with. So this person says it was good to hear that it was that we could try it in parallels. In my experience in the NHS, the IT services need training in Dragon, which I think is a very interesting time. Someone did ask earlier. I deleted the question about where they can get training from. Again, if you contact Andy at Dyslexia Box, he will be able to offer you, be able to get you a trainer. There will be a cost involved in that, but you will be able to get training from Dyslexia Box regarding that. So no, I think that's when we've got no more questions in the question box. We've got 5 minutes until the end of the session anyway. So I'm going to say thank you, Darren, an amazing overview of Dragon and of what Nuance is doing. I think it's amazing. I think it will link really well to what Jonathan is going to talk about this afternoon, and I look forward
Yep.
to seeing everyone back at 1 o'clock to hear Hayley speak from the fire service in Cambridgeshire. So thank you again for an amazing session there, Darren. Thank you very much. I will let you all carry on. I'm going to end the session now for everyone. So we can be ready there. Lots of people are saying thank you to you. Really appreciate the talk.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
That's it. Thank you very much for listening. I'm going to end the session now, and I will look forward to seeing some of you back within half an hour. Take care. Thanks very much. Take care. Cheers. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.